Football Update. It's with your host, Sean Spencer and Alex Loosemore.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And it's Tuesday night, ladies and gentlemen. You know who it is. You know where we are. College Football Update is back at you. And that means I'm talking with my guys, talking some college football. You see this guy right next to me. Mr. Maize and Blue still hasn't lost to OSU in a long time, ladies and gentlemen. Alex Loosemore. What up, Alex?
Not too much, man. Was excited to get back into it against Wisconsin this past week. Big game against USC this coming weekend on the road again. And some wild football this past weekend that I cannot wait to dive into.
Oh, yes. A lot of teams were upset this weekend. But let's see how that pans out. But I got to introduce my guy. Hey, we saw the team. They struggled at first, but see, when sometimes in life you got to persevere. See, they say that the race is not given to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, but to they that endure. And they're doing pretty good now. You see my guy in front of that brick wall, EK Holiday. What up, Eric?
Hey, Sean, Alex, good to be back. I've been in a cave licking my wounds. Getting back in fighting shape. So this is cool. Happy to be back and talking football with you guys again.
Oh yeah. Hey, nothing like it. And we want to send a shout out to our buddy Will Kramer. Had a little bit extra work he had to do, but he will be back with us next time. But guys, we're back. College football. I mean, you want to talk about it, we're in the thick of it. The upsets happened, and we're even going to call out one of our buddies, even though he didn't admit that we told him he was going to win. He did call out the certain upset, and we'll get into that. But we got to talk first about this new AP poll. The upsets played a huge role in that. Teams that were in the top 10 no longer in the top 25. I mean, what in the world? So let's go ahead and get into it now. As you see, 1 through 5, Ohio State, Miami, Oregon, Ole Miss, and A&M. Then starting with 6 to 10, you have OU, Indiana, Alabama, Texas Tech, and Georgia. Then LSU, Tennessee moving up. I like this. Georgia Tech.
Yeah, they're not 15 anymore.
Yeah, that was their spot. I thought they were going to stay there. And you guys now are in that 15 spot with that win. Our buddy, EK, Notre Dame at 16, Illinois, BYU, number 19, ACC's own Virginia at 18, and Vandy at 20. And down there you have Arizona State, you have Iowa State, Memphis, USF, and Florida State rounding out the top 25. Alex, I'm going to come to you first, and let's talk about that. There's the two major upsets, and all of a sudden, now Penn State is not in there. Now, all of a sudden, you got top-tier squads out. Is this what are you thinking, man?
I mean, this AP poll perfectly describes what this past weekend was. This is pure chaos compared to what it's been. I look at it, and first off, if you would have told me this top 5 would have been the way it was come the start of the season, I would have told you were insane. Miami, Ole Miss, A&M being in there, I would have told you were out of your mind. I thought they would be good, just not top 5 good. Same with Indiana at 7, Texas Tech at 9, Georgia Tech all the way up at 13, Mizzou 14. It's just pure Virginia at 19. Like it's all over the place. It's kind of nice to see some parity as well too. It's not what I think last week or the week before we brought it up that like nearly 20 of the 25 schools were Big Ten and SEC, starting to get a little more variety in there, which is always nice to see.
Mhm.
And it shows a lot of playoff races here, kind of narrowing down like the group of 5/6 auto bid there. Right now, it looks to be Memphis or USF. Oddly enough, they play each other in a couple of weeks. You can see multiple teams in the Big 12 in there, the ACC. So I'm excited to see where this takes us.
Absolutely, yeah. And Eric, you look at I mean, this list and got to shout out our ACC, and I'll add you in there since coming basketball season's almost here, so you're going to be ACC soon enough. So, but for outside of you guys, with obviously number 2 Miami, you got Georgia Tech, Virginia, and then Florida State hanging on. I mean, but to Alex's point, I mean, you got teams all over the place. You got schools that are not normally known for being up here, but in here, I mean, look at BYU, who we figured out if they're for real. They got the win over Colorado, and I mean, we've seen them. They're in the top 20. I mean, Eric, when you looking at this, what are you thinking, man?
Yeah, some similarity with Alex's long thought process. I don't want to say there's anybody in that top 10 range that really shocks me. Texas, I was a little on the fence about them. Obviously, it's very shocking. The outcome of them being completely out of the poll.
Right.
Same with Penn State. I mean, I definitely, from preseason, I thought Oregon was going to win that game, but I certainly looked at their schedule and I did not see 2 losses through this point in the season, even with that one being a guaranteed one. So there are some very, very shocking things. I'll be honest with you. Oklahoma, that is one I've ragged on for quite a while. They, to this point, have proven to be a very, very challenging team to deal with.
Yeah.
So I'm eating a little bit of crow when it comes to Oklahoma. I'm still not on this Indiana train. It just feels like smoke and mirrors to me. Somebody sell me. Somebody sell me. But
I mean, my big thing is no matter who they play, they run the ball like crazy. They're averaging like 250 to 300 yards a game on the ground. Mendoza is one of those quarterbacks that plays well, does not make mistakes. It seems like a better version of their team last year. So, like, I mean, they're a team that might win the first round playoff game. But
you say no matter who they played, and no disrespect to ODU, but that's ODU, Kennesaw State, Indiana State are 3 of the 5.
Yep.
Illinois, we don't know who they are yet because that was just a straight, excuse my language, ass whooping. Which
that was wild.
Yeah.
Then they turn around and beat USC the next week. So.
Yeah. So again, they've earned their right to be up there. I just don't know that I completely believe it yet. So let's see them get through this next end of the year stretch. I mean, we're going into
Oregon this weekend for them.
Yeah. I'm not going to judge them based off of Oregon. I mean, I won't let it hurt them. It can only help them if they play close. That's how I feel about Oregon. I'm not gonna kill Indiana if they lose by 30 to Oregon. Oregon's really damn good,
and especially in Autzen.
Yeah, the only thing that bugs me, I think I threw in a chat that the couple of us are in, is I don't know how Illinois is where Illinois is. I'm not saying they should be out of the top 25, but they lost 63 to 10. Like, like put in some of these undefeated or these close one-loss teams above Illinois. But for the most part, I think everything is pretty fair with the AP polls to this point. So shocking or not shocking, the ACC stuff is really, really interesting though with Tech and and UVA. I've got a little soft spot for UVA, so I'm riding along there with you, Sean.
Oh yeah, right in our neck of the woods. Right in our neck of the woods. But look, let's go home. Let's go to you guys. Michigan 15, Notre Dame 16. And Eric, let me come to you first. I mean, a lot of people had issue. Obviously, you were going through what you're going through, and when you guys are 0-2 and still in the top 25, now you guys have won a couple, and you're look the part. Do you feel comfortable where you're at right here, or what are you thinking?
Well, I mean, with 2 and 5 being the teams that you lost to, and it's by a total of what, 4 points.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not uncomfortable with it. I certainly I can look at some of the other schedules and I can go, well, we should probably be above them. We should probably be above them. On paper, we still haven't won a game that is deserving of a higher ranking, but when you go toe to toe to the final seconds with the number 2 and the number 5 team, I don't know how you argue that some of the teams that are below us should be above us.
Well, especially when some of the teams above you have had really bad losses.
Yeah. So,
and if I'm not mistaken, the number 2 and number 5 team both had to come from behind to get you, or at least I think Miami was tied with you guys, and they had to drive down late.
I think we came back on Miami a bit. Texas A&M,
you guys got the lead quick, but
we missed an extra, or we did not miss. We botched an extra point snap, and that was likely the difference. I love Tyler Buckner, no hate. That's my guy. So yeah, and the problems that I saw even against Purdue seem to be cleaning up. The offense is a problem for people. The quarterback we've got is the real deal. Arch is falling down the draft boards, and CJ is moving into the 2027 draft boards rather quickly. He is special. So that has been a fun ride despite the losses, but the team is coming into form, and I think at least giving some people hope that they're AP voters, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Now, and I'm coming to you, Alex. Michigan, you get the win over Wisconsin. You guys have looked good up to this point. What are you thinking? 15, middle of the pack? You good with what your spot right here?
Yeah, I think it's pretty fair. The only really tough game we've had is Oklahoma, and we lost by, I want to say, 11. But Bryce's first game on the road. I think maybe my bias cuts that a little bit of slack, but this defense is great. Justice Haynes is special. He's been, I think the lowest he's had in the game is 117 running the ball. So the one thing I wish, well, it's kind of twofold. I wish Bryce Underwood could take a little off his passes, but I wish our wide receivers could catch a damn ball too outside of Donovan McCulley. McCulley doesn't seem to have an issue with it, and Klein, the tight end, doesn't seem to have an issue with it, but everyone else can't catch a cold right now. So that's a little frustrating, but I think it's all in our hands to make the playoff here. We got, like I said, the tough game against USC in LA this weekend, but then it kind of sets up nicely to, if we win that, we're probably a one-loss team hosting Ohio State at the end of the season. So I really like this spot, and I think it's a valid spot for us right now. I think kind of that 11 to I'll cut it off at Notre Dame there. I think all those teams are very similar. I think all those teams can they can punch and take out probably 4 through 10 above them. but at the same time, clearly, as some of these matchups have shown, could fall short against those guys. So I think this is all still very close. I kind of agree with Ben. I think the top three are separating themselves. But I think everything else is up for grabs.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this on paper, I can't argue it, Alex. But you say 4 through 10. I'm not scared of number 2. Let us revisit it. So that they earned it, and they're very good. But
I think on a neutral site, you take that.
I honestly, I don't know that any of the top 10 in general actually strike that much fear as a whole, as we're used to of past years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think this is the most up for grabs any spot in the top 25 has really been.
Yeah. That Ohio State defense is filthy, though.
Oh, yeah, they are legit. Sayin doesn't make mistakes. They got 3 really good running backs. And then they have the best offensive player in the nation and the best defensive player in the nation. So
Are you finally going to give Carnell Tate some love now?
Tate's shown that he can be a good wide receiver, too. Absolutely.
Just picking with you, buddy.
Oh yeah, buddy. And look, I'm gonna say I love the both of y'all's location in this, because the other thing about it is both of you guys have championship pedigree. Both of you have been to, the mountaintop in the last couple years. And when you're looking at some of the teams in front of you, Missouri, Georgia Tech, Tennessee, LSU, Texas Tech, some of these teams are new in here. We'll see. Obviously, we talked about how these conferences will kind of cannibalize themselves, but I really feel like with y'all schedule and just kind of how a lot of these guys above you might fall a couple slots, I think you guys are in prime spots, really be in a great location come November, December, late in the season.
I think Alex definitely is. I think
you went out and you're in.
Michigan controls their own destiny 100%. I do not believe that we do, and here's the reasoning. We need Texas A&M and Miami to continue doing well. That's number one. We need them to stay up there. And the meat is off the bone with our schedule. So there's not a lot of notches to put in the belt at this point. So I definitely would rather be here than 3 or 4 slots down.
Yeah.
Because I think that will ultimately help in the end. But I don't believe the win out and you're in. I think there's going to be a lot more at play, especially if Miami and Texas A&M end up taking some hits. I think that's going to hurt quite a bit.
My thing is there's 8 SEC teams above us right now. You can expect probably at least 4, maybe 5 of those to fall out. I think they're going to tear each other apart so much that you might get a 4th SEC team in. But the issue with the SEC this year, and I always pick on them, but it seems like it's a bunch of really good teams, but I don't think there's any real great team in the SEC this year. Where there was that one where if you beat them, it was, we took them. They're the class of the conference this year. There's realistically, Texas can still win the SEC. Florida can still win the SEC. Like, those teams are both still in play.
Say that one more time.
Florida
I can't deal with this. Like, why are we still doing this?
I literally said that one to get a reaction out of both of you. That was
I got through yours, but then when Sean gave you the reaffirmation,
that's the thing though, is there's still unranked teams in that conference that you could realistically say, I could see them in the SEC championship game.
Yeah,
that's where I think there's so many different variables that there's not going to be that many teams in the playoff for them. I would bank on 4. And then probably 4 from the Big Ten, usually 3 at least I think those top three in the Big Ten make it in, and then I think we do slide in as that fourth team. And then there's still the other. Well, I mean, realistically, that leaves only the auto bid. So I'm interested to see how it goes. But I don't see the SEC getting more than 4 teams.
Yeah, I hope you're right because I want to keep winning and I want to see if we're a different team than we were. So
And I think Notre Dame if you guys run the table, I think there's a strong argument for, especially if Miami and A&M are both playoff teams, being we lost to 2 playoff teams by a combined 4 points.
the first 2
And
games, yeah.
And we've taken care of business since. I think that's a playoff team. I really do.
I think last year's run adds a little credibility that wouldn't be there
Absolutely.
in previous years. So, but it's going to be fun. But all I'm worried about is NC State, fellas, and I will be there.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Do us
Love
a favor. Get that dub. I was definitely would have been there with you. Actually, I'm not going to be too far from you because they're at your place, right?
Yeah.
No, they're at your place. All right. Yeah, no, I'll be in Carolina, but that's definitely going to be fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to go ahead and move on. We're talking about that AP poll. Look, we had some crazy stuff go on this weekend, and it really has some of us, overreacted. If our buddy Will was on here, he'd be calling for coaches' heads. You saw him do it last week. All right, and there were some people. He was saying that on Saturday. Get him out of here after this loss, and we talked about him. Penn State fans, you ain't got no right to come at me anymore because your coach, well, I don't know what happened in this one. UCLA upsets Penn State in a beautiful game. Wasn't that many people there because nobody thought that this was going to happen. But it was a beautiful, beautiful upset. Shout out to Jerry Neuheisel, son of the great coach. He was told on Tuesday he was going to be their play caller, and he did. That was a masterful game. Made Nico Imaliava look like the guy that we thought he was prior to it. 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. They did the unthinkable, handed Penn State their second loss. Now I'm going to come to you, Alex, first and ask the question, is this an overreaction in reality? UCLA's upset over Penn State is going to turn around their season.
It's an overreaction. They played very well. This is a tenfold of what we said about Virginia's win over Florida State, where it's that big team left on your schedule. You go punch way above your weight class and take care of business. Penn State as a whole played terribly. I mean, I'll put this into perspective. I mean, you can't get any worse than what they were. When they finally got a lead in this game, that was the first time they had a lead this entire season. They had not led for a single second before Saturday's game. So, I mean, I think, well, and there was so much emotion. I can't remember the coach, one of their great coaches from a while ago. His wife had passed away. The coach has already passed away, but they honored her. If you saw the heart with the initials on the field, it was her initials. So there was a whole thing about that. So there was all the emotion behind UCLA going into this. Penn State thought it was just another game, and they got waxed for it. So I think it's an overreaction.
Yeah, EK.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that crazy thing where I kind of hedge. It very well could turn around their season, but the definition of turning around their season, I guess I don't think they're gonna go 500 the rest of the way, but they were 0-4, and maybe now they sneak out 1 or 2 more wins on the year. So I definitely think that the leadership change made a difference, or else they don't pull this game off. even with the fact that, again, I'm on the overreaction side as far as I think Penn State, they lost to Oregon. Once they lost to Oregon, they were down in the dumps and they weren't focused. And they said, well, we're going out to UCLA. They suck.
Yeah.
And I think
Mhm.
UCLA is like, our coach just got fired. We're going to do everything in our power to
Freaking
come
everybody
together.
got fired.
Yeah.
They came together.
Yeah. So, but, it can only get better for UCLA from where it was.
Mhm.
So, I think it'll turn their season around in a fashion, but
Yeah.
they're not going to a bowl game.
Yeah.
Got one more thing to add in,
Yeah.
just to take a little stab at Penn State here. I forget his name, but UCLA's interim head coach here now has the same number of Big Ten top 10 wins as James Franklin. They both have one.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny.
Come on.
Will
Bang, bang.
would have fired Franklin already.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He wouldn't have made it into this
So-
game.
He
And
wouldn't have
that's-
made it on the flight home. Let's be
Yeah,
real.
that's an interesting topic for another time, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you fire Franklin, because when you fire Franklin, you have to stop and go, all right, the guy who's brought stability back to a broken program, and who do you hire when you fire
Right.
him? That's
I-
the question.
I have my one that I brought up last week that I really like the idea of.
Go for it.
Sorry, there was 3 that we brought up that I really like the idea of. I like Luke Fickell in Penn State.
Well,
Given the
he's not
resources-
getting Penn State with how Wisconsin's doing, so you can just eliminate that.
I was just like, I like that. I
He'll
like
be.
that
He might
concept.
have.
You like
He
the
might not
fit.
have a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might be
the other
available.
The other two, I think, would be realistic jumps for these guys, given how they're doing at their programs. Matt Campbell at Iowa State and Dave Aranda at Baylor. I think they both fit Big Ten football. I think they could turn their style into Penn State football and do very well with it.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, especially in this era too, because as soon as you fire your coach,
30-day
your
transfer.
roster is going to be completely turned over. So, are you better off continuing to kind of keep recruiting great, because they do, and putting your chances, or do you do like Nebraska did and you fire Frank Solich and then you fall off the face of the earth?
Yeah.
Frank Solich couldn't win more than 10, but he always won 10.
Yeah.
It's just such a weird dilemma.
It just depends on what the expectation is and what the standard is, right?
Yeah.
If you're fine with winning 10 games, keep Franklin. If you're fine with not winning those big games, keep Franklin. But if you're looking for more, then I think you might have to look.
But
elsewhere.
even then, like, how many jobs has Matt Campbell turned down?
Yeah.
He's turned down a lot of jobs. Dave Aranda might jump, because Dave Aranda's seat goes from hot and cold by the time of the day. But, yeah, it's just there's no right answer kind of scenario, but it's a fun topic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Misador, said, wait, there's still college football. I stopped watching. We feel for you.
As an
We feel
FSU
for you,
fan, yeah.
Oh yeah, we feel for you. Look, I'm gonna hop around since you're over here. We got to talk about it. Overreaction or reality? I'm coming to you, Eric. Florida State is not good as we once thought they were.
I want to say after week 1, I got some crap for saying I don't know that they're that good.
Yep, that's fair.
So I will leave this question up to you all. And that wasn't a bashing Florida State, but from what they lost to where they, or how far they dropped last year to how they have to regain, I guess I just thought it was unrealistic that they were going to be as bad as they were this year and then all of a sudden be contending for the ACC. With that said, the 2 teams they've lost to are pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Miami is one of them, and it was a pretty close game. and UVA is
No slouch.
very annoying this year. So
Yeah.
I still don't think that they're, back in the FSU shape that we all wish they were. But I also don't think it's as dire as some people are making it sound at the moment.
Mhm. Yeah. Misador says FAU is not the team they think they are, which could be very true. Alex, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I think it is a reality. I compare it a lot to, for example, the Giants starting Jackson Dart there, where it's like you don't really have a lot of tape on what they're going to do with these pieces, with say Castellanos and those guys coming in, and there was a lot of changeover. It's like, okay, what are we really going to get from these guys? Alabama's clearly figured it out. I think if they played again, it's a very different result. But I think it's now that, okay, we had 3-4 weeks of tape on these guys and how they're going to play with these pieces, we can figure out how to stop them. And then once that was figured out, then they came kind of crashing back down to reality a bit. So I think Florida State's still a 7, 8, maybe 9 win team. It's just where we were talking AFC or ACC front runner and into the playoff. That's not the case anymore.
And I'll definitely pump my brakes. I was one of the ones that was driving that bandwagon.
I was right there with
early on this season. And it partially is because my guy Tommy Castellanos wanting to see him do well. And mind you, these 2 losses, like we've said, 2 good teams. Virginia, we're going to talk about it a little bit later. They potentially, I could see them in the ACC championship. So these aren't slouches, and they took them to the wire. Big game. This last one was a little bit rougher, but I definitely think that I might have been a little hasty in my judgment, thinking that they were as good. But I think, to your point, give them some time. I think towards the end of the year they might still be competing for some stuff, but a little too soon
they'll get a solid bowl game. Like, they're not going to be in some nothing bowl game right at the very beginning of it. They're going to be playing right around New Year's in one of the better bowl games. They won't get the top tier ones, but they'll be in a solid one.
Mm-hmm. Misador said, "No, Norvell has no counter punch." And I mean, we want to talk about an interesting question. Norvell, I mean, a year ago we were all talking about hot seat, and then he has the start that he has this year, and it's all in the back of our minds. But you lose two of these games. Should we start to have that conversation again?
I mean, we know how I feel about Norvell. I don't think he's a good coach. But that Alabama game gave him another year at the very least. When you can say, no matter how they looked there, when you can say you beat Alabama in the 2020s, that buys you at least another year.
I don't know. I need to look at the remainder of their schedule. I mean, if we're finishing, which I don't predict at all, because I think they're much better than this, and their schedule really lightens up. I mean, they play Florida last. Like,
hey, that's not a given. That's not a given. All right, let me tell you.
I mean, to be fair, which Florida are they getting?
I'm just picking with you guys. But if they finished 6-6 with this schedule, I would be seeing if I could get the Dion hype train to come home.
Thank you. I've been saying that.
and get all the 5 stars you could imagine.
He'll bring them, especially to Florida State.
Yeah, that's so 6-6. Like, that is not the same situation as a James Franklin 10-win team.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, Pitt, Stanford, Wake, Clemson, Virginia Tech, NC State. Like, we got to get 8 wins at minimum out of this. So, and I agree, I'm not a big Norvell fan. I do think he was a very good offensive coordinator, but I think his offensive coordinator he has now is light years beyond what he ever was. So,
yeah, I think he's one of those guys that's, again, comparing to the NFL, he's like Josh McDaniels. He's a good offensive coordinator. He's not a head coach.
Yep.
Misador said they will end up in the Little Caesars Crazy Bread Bowl. And he said, bring back Jimbo. Hey, you want Jameis too? I don't think you want Jameis back.
Jameis can be the OC. There we go.
Oh, you don't want.
Look, he need a job.
Jim-
I mean, Jackson took his spot, so
Jimbo is what sent you guys into this spiral.
Yeah, literally.
He left the cupboards bare the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't want Jimbo back.
Oh yeah, and look, let's go from we were talking a little bit about the NFL. Let's go to a famous NFL, family, not famous. I mean, famous in his recognition, but not in his play recently. Eric, I'll come to you first. Overreaction or reality? Arch Manning is in over his head.
I mean, anybody who's a first-year starting quarterback is in over their head. I mean, unless you have the super rare exceptions. I mean, there's times like I'm watching CJ Carr and I'm like, this dude is amazing, but still sometimes you're like, oh yeah, he's a freshman. So I think I've been on that train all along that the hype has been way unfair to him. Even if you look back, I think we talked about it the last time I was on here. If you look back to the high school competition he played against and the team he played on, they were not necessarily the greatest. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know what we want to do to the kid. There's more people than just him on that team, and that line lost a lot from last year to this year. They lost a lot of receivers.
3-4 starters at least, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess part of me feels not ruthless enough to go dig on the kid, because I'm never surprised when a first-year starter has it rough. So I think all the haters are the same people that were the ones who were saying he was going to be the next coming. So I don't know. I definitely in over his head, but I don't think that's any different than 95% of other college quarterbacks.
Yeah. It's to be expected. If you take the name away from it, you would expect what we're seeing. Misador said Arch will be fine. Let the kid mature. Alex, what are you thinking, man?
I mean, if you look just specifically at this Florida game, the offensive line was awful. They were atrocious. Florida dominated them in the trenches. The defense, which has been top 5 level all season, was brutal on Saturday. They fell apart. Jabbar Muhammad and those guys in the secondary that have been lights out all year were suddenly letting, Dallas Wilson or DJ Wilson, that young receiver, run all over the field on them. They had no semblance of a run game with Baxter and those guys. Arch was bad. I'm not saying there's nothing on him. He played poorly on Saturday as well. But I think this is Texas this year is in over their head. We talk about all the hype that Arch had. I think this is a whole Texas is way in over their head this year. I hate to dig more at Penn State, but Sark is quickly appearing to be the SEC's James Franklin, where it's just like very similar records, smaller sample size for Sark, but very similar records against those elite teams, the top 10 matchups, those kind of games. He doesn't do well in those. They're really good at, for the most part, beating the teams they're supposed to beat. This weekend was not one of those that they showed up in a game they should have won. But I think this is Texas as a whole falling flat this year. This isn't just Arch. This is Sark's play calling has been bad. The defense has been hit and miss. The offensive line has been bad. The running game is non-existent. We've seen these other schools be able to kind of reset after losing so much. Texas just hasn't shown the ability to do it this year.
It stinks to see, but it's to be expected in that situation. I almost wonder, Eric, you talked about him, not playing the best competition. What if he went to a smaller school? What if he went to one of those schools in the American or one of these schools, and even I don't want to say the MAC because he might get tortured. No, every
I
one of
thought
those teams.
when you paused, I thought you were saying the ACC. I thought you were digging at yourself there.
No. But I mean, we used to be QBU the last couple of years, but I'll move on. But I mean, what if he is on one of those other teams where the talent is more their level? Like,
I think you move him to a different team in the same conference, and it's a completely different deal. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to just go look at the dude's numbers, it's not like he's been like like he's played winnable football in every game, even if it hasn't been a good game.
Yeah.
Like he has played, it hasn't been him that is the difference. Or just solely him. So I don't know. I think you could move him to a different squad, like even in the SEC. I mean, because we all
had him
know
at Ole Miss right now with Lane Kiffin and what he's been doing with Chambliss and those guys. Good God, Ole Miss would be even more disgusting on offense than they are right now. Just because of the raw talent, right? Like it's
well, and Lane, I mean, Sark has had some good years, and we know he gets this this credit that I don't know that was ever quite due for him to be anointed one of the like great minds. He followed what Lane kind of laid down in multiple places.
Oddly enough.
Yeah. So, you know, I think that is, if we kind of spin it back around, since we've talked about it briefly with the other ones, like if there was one where I do think the seat can get hot real fast, it's that one. Especially if they lose to Oklahoma.
Which it sounds like Mateer's going to be back. It sounds like he's back in time for that game now.
Could you imagine if they lost to Oklahoma without Mateer?
Heads will roll.
He might fall on the tarmac deal just like his many-time predecessor Lane did.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that I could see that. The boosters in Texas, they've never shied away from doling out the coin, and
money is just a number to them.
And honestly, that is, I mean, still when I think about it, I think that might be the best job in college football.
There's a very strong argument for it.
So the competition and the people willing to jump for that job, I think would be very, very strong. I'm not predicting he gets fired, but it could turn real fast.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to win over there,
especially with the success they've had the last couple of years. For them to have that success be in the Final Four 2 years in a row, and then to have this if they lose 4 or 5 games here.
But Texas fans aren't looking at it Final Four 2 years in a row. They're looking at it as they came up short.
Yep.
2 years in a row.
Yep.
Right, wrong, or indifferent. That's just how they're looking at it.
Yep.
Now Texas thinks they're a blue blood, and you go look at Texas history, they aren't a blue blood.
Nope.
So think about that when you go firing your coaches too soon, Texas.
His name is Eric Kelly. Send all your attacks at him.
That's all right.
And we got one more. We're going to come to the greatest conference in college football, the ACC, even though my team's not doing the best. And we're going to ask the question. Alex, I'm going to come to you. Overreaction to reality. UVA will play in the ACC championship game.
I'm going to go ahead and say overreaction. I think it's still going to be Miami and Georgia Tech. But I feel like, and funny enough, UVA might almost not want to play in that game. Because it might be one of those ones where you're the third team in the conference, 9-3, 10-2. And I said it when we were doing the predictions this year. I think a 9-win team, a 9-3 team, is probably going to get in the playoff this year. So if you're sitting there at 9-3, as long as you don't have any like bad losses, I think you might sneak in there.
Yeah. Do you want to be the team that gets stays at 9-3 and looks good, and you had a case to be in the championship game, or do you want to be the team that gets into it and then gets slaughtered?
Yeah.
So that's an interesting scenario. Someone tell me this: they don't do coastal and that anymore, right? Is it just
It's
the
just
best
the top
two
two
records?
teams.
Just
Yeah.
straight, yeah.
That
And the top
that's
four is UVA, Duke, Georgia Tech, Miami. As far as conference wins,
okay.
Yeah.
Duke and UVA both have 3.
Well, I'm rooting for UVA, but I have a buddy who is a diehard fan, and it's just hard not to see them tripping somewhere as good as they've been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same goes for Georgia Tech, but if no one else rises to the equation, it would be pretty cool to see it.
Yeah, it's one of those teams, or one of those two in Miami, I think. I think Duke will slip up before they get there. And then it just comes down to whether Georgia Tech or Virginia slip up. And if they do, when is that? So
Yeah.
It's an interesting conference race to watch here.
It'd be fun
Oh,
to
yeah.
see if Florida State makes a run too.
Yeah.
That's true
Even
too.
though,
Right.
yeah. So based on those 2 losses.
Well, and Duke and UVA play each other on November 15th. So that's going to handle itself. But then you also have Cal, they got 2 losses.
Yeah.
They play Washington State. They get a game against North Carolina. Well, we'll see how much they put on us. And Wake, it could give some teams some trouble. So, and then also a game against VT. So, it's not easy ACC wise. I think they're definitely gonna have to keep fighting, but it could be them. But I think with you guys it's an overreaction at the moment.
Yeah.
But Chandler Morris, that dude's pretty damn
Ben.
good.
You could have just let me be an ignorant bliss over here. Tigers are getting their ass kicked right now.
By the way, we talked about Penn State and Texas being out. Just the idea that Penn State, Texas, and Clemson are all out.
3 of the top 4 in the preseason rankings are all unranked. Also, Texas set the record for fastest number 1 preseason team to be unranked. I think it was 2015 USC. One of those mid-2010s USC was 12 games. Or 12 weeks. No, 12 games. That was the Matt Barkley years.
Yeah. That's when the Doherty Jackson beat us by himself.
Yeah, and when I remember the one Sports Illustrated cover distinctly, it was, is Matt Barkley going to be the first quarterback to throw for 6,000 yards? That was the headline on there. Boy, was that not the case.
Matt Barkley, he was really good. Those teams just were not very good.
Yeah. But they had the record. I believe it took all 12 games in the regular season for them to fall unranked. Texas did it in 5. So they smashed the record. And then I wonder if this is the first time or the fastest for having a number 1 and number 2 both go out.
Yeah,
if it's ever happened like that.
We talked about Penn State, but what is going on there? Like, I don't know. That roster has everything, man.
Penn State?
Well, yeah, and that's the other one. Does this loss knock them out of the Big Ten championship in CFP?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. They still have to play Ohio State, and I believe they still have to play Indiana as well, if I'm not mistaken. I know Ohio State for a fact. I don't know about Indiana.
I can't imagine Aller not buckling under the pressure against Ohio State.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I'll see if I can get their remaining schedule here.
It feels like Knowles overturned the defense too much.
Kotelnicki and Aller don't seem to be a fit. The offensive coordinator and the quarterback. It doesn't seem to. Kotelnicki wants a different quarterback, I think, than what Aller does.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, it seemed like the only good player in LA for Penn State on Saturday was Aller. I think Aller was the only one that really did anything.
Yeah, he had a good game.
Yeah, he played very well. The rest of the team did not. So it seems like either the team plays well and he doesn't, or he plays well and the team doesn't show up. So they get a bounce back game this weekend. They host Northwestern. Although, given that they just played UCLA and lost, who really knows? They're both 3-2. They then go to Iowa, then a bye, go to Ohio State, then host Indiana, then go to Michigan State, host Nebraska, and go to Rutgers. That's they lose to Ohio State. I'm going to say they lose to Indiana. And it wouldn't shock me if they lose to Nebraska as well. So, I mean,
and look, if that team
potentially 5 losses.
If the team that showed up on Saturday comes out, Michigan State will sneak one out too.
And Rutgers might too.
Well, how far could they fall?
Very, very far.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're out of the Big Ten championship altogether. That's 2 losses in the conference already, with 2 extremely difficult games to go. So I think they can kiss the Big Ten title game goodbye, especially with both Oregon and Ohio State still being undefeated, and Michigan being undefeated in the conference as well, Indiana being undefeated. There's too many teams left without a loss in conference for Penn State to have a chance, I think.
That's interesting.
EK, you faded into the background just like James Franklin, man. What what you thinking, man?
Like, where'd he go?
Reaction?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's an overreaction. I mean, their 2 losses are 2 conference losses. Like, you're really setting yourself up with doing that, and then
they got to run the table.
Yeah, I'm not ready because based on our early conversation, for some reason I just can't get on the Indiana bandwagon yet. But Ohio State, I don't see how Penn State can win that game.
Jim Knowles has to have a master class, and Drew Aller's got to play like he did on Saturday with the offense showing up around him. That's the only way.
And I didn't think that UCLA could beat Penn State.
Yeah.
So, it could very well happen, but even then, you're still down 2 games in the conference. So, I mean, Michigan's undefeated in the conference. Ohio State's undefeated in the conference. You said Indiana is. Illinois is still
only
ranked
1 loss, yeah,
in the top 17. So
USC only has 1 loss as of now. If they beat us, they can go. Nebraska only has 1 loss in the conference.
Yeah,
there's so many teams ahead of them right now in the conference that they got to climb.
It's going to be really, really hard to claw out. And then
UCLA only has 1 loss in the conference. They might come to yeah.
But also, like, does this? So we talked about Florida State, right? Or not Florida State. We talked about UCLA. We talked about the fact that does this turn their season around? Well, does this
it crumble for Penn State?
Yeah. Does it all just fall apart for Penn State now? Like,
it wouldn't shock me.
You're 0-2. Your coach pretty much after the game. I have to send you. I'll have to get it to you. I should have got it to you before the game. Todd McShay throwing expletives around like I've never seen him do before.
Wow.
About, what's the problem in Penn State? And, he breaks it down as leadership. And he says, I never watch post-game press conferences, but all he did was make excuses and blame players. And then at the very end, he said, but it's all on me. After he spent all that time saying
everyone else
how everyone else wasn't doing it right. So,
well, I mean, here's the thing, especially for could this tank the rest of their season? there was a lot of guys that could have gone to the NFL last year that didn't. Is there a lot of those guys that start to be like, hey, I'm done. I'm getting ready for the pros. Do they go early? So, I mean, there's strong potential for a lot of these guys to kind of avoid hurting their draft stock and just go get ready now.
How many young guys haven't played 4 games yet?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot that could blow up here for Penn State.
Yeah, I mean, that's a real problem if guys start saying, you know what, I'm going to preserve a year because I'm going to transfer out.
Yep.
They could do that.
I mean,
man.
With this playoff, this CFP format now, and I mean, we only had the 1 year so far with the 12 team, but when's the last time we saw so many teams that we were like, these guys are locks for the playoff, that now it's like, I don't see a path for them. Like, there's a lot this year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And to your point earlier, it's the parity is surprising. Like
the extent of it is, yeah.
I almost thought, I mean, I think you were more along the lines of that parity would come with a lot of the changes that happen. I was kind of more of the line that I thought the rich would get richer, and that has happened, but it hasn't panned out to make it more successful. I never thought that you could just go to the transfer portal and create a team and be successful. I thought that's a basketball thing. You can't do that in football. And look how many people are doing it with football.
Yeah. Indiana made a playoff team through the transfer portal. Like, absolutely. And they did it again this year. Like,
to your point, it could be a back-to-back one. I mean,
yeah.
It's. I mean, Norvell, his run, was based off of. There was a lot. So it's. I don't know. It's very, very fascinating. Just house of cards everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everyone's literally sitting there pushing against their cards right now. And it's just like Penn State is watching theirs tumble. Texas is watching theirs tumble. There's a lot of schools. There's probably about 75 schools that are still sitting there pressing. Like, when's it going to fall? So I think it's made college football that much better, though, that we can see weekends like we just saw. And, oh my God, UCLA, who hasn't led for a single second, can beat the brakes off a top 10 team. They're just Florida being so up and down, and then hosting Texas and taking them down. Florida State smoking Alabama, and then going to UVA, who none of us really expected to be that great, and falling flat. Like, there's just so many examples in the first 6 weeks of college football that I think it's a big thing of what's making this sport continue to be great.
And that's the beauty of this sport too, is that it is 18 to 22-year-olds, and you take a hard loss, you get down on yourself.
Especially with social media nowadays too.
Yeah, or you look at the other team and you hear how bad they are, and you go, maybe I don't need to put in those extra reps this week. And how quickly that catches up with teams is just, it's not something that happens in the pros so much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you even think back to Miami beating Florida last year in their stadium, and all the recruits they're hosting being like, don't go to this school, stay in state, come to our school. Like, it's just, there's stuff like that where it's just like, oh my God. Like,
Yep. It's just going to get crazier. It's just going to get crazier. But to your point, this weekend is one of those weekends that makes you remember why you love it. Watching Coach Neuheisel in backstage on the there was an announced thing, watching his son call plays to upset the Penn State and all that, and just seeing him get so emotional about it, that is what I love about this game. Seeing the underdog, the Buster Douglas, if you will, take out the Mike Tyson. Like That is what I love. Nobody called it. Nobody predicted it. And they even had a thing at in UCLA. One of the restaurants said if UCLA wins, they're going to give everybody free fries. Well, some of the radio personalities out there will say, "Oh, well, that's the safest bet ever. You're not going to get anything because there's no way they're going to win the game." And then
we didn't
they
even
won
discuss the game at all last week. It was just like, oh,
Yeah.
Penn State's playing UCLA. Move on. Like,
it was I didn't even touch that one. Does that make me crazy? That's how it was just so far out there. And hey, we'll see. I mean, I love that. I love that stuff can still happen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate y'all joining us. And Colin, who has been in here the last 15 minutes where we went on this extra
literally
rant.
the entire time we've been just shooting at them.
He's a
Oh,
champ.
I'm sorry, Colin.
He's a good dude for playing with it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I said I'd be down for that. Should, but NIL centric.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to head out of here. You see my guy over there, Alex Loosemore, and the guy in front of the brick wall, Mr. E.K. Holiday. It's your boy, Sean Spencer. We will see y'all next time. Out, fading into the wall. Yep. Peace, people.
College Football Update. It's with your host, Sean Spencer and Alex Loosemore.